I just saw this coyote out here. Is he still here? There he is. He just disappears into that long grass. It is an absolutely beautiful sunshiny day here, a Sunday in Michigan. There's a gazillion other things I'd rather be doing today. I'd like to be outside, I'd like to be having some fun. But here's the deal. It's Aquarium Maintenance Day, and you just gotta do it. And before I go any further, check out this mug that my kid made. I don't know if he made it for me, if he made it for himself, but he made it at school, and he put a silver arowana on here. And I thought his artistic ability with this fish and with this mug was pretty cool, right? So I'm gonna keep it. You may have heard me say this before, but if you haven't, let me just say it one more time. Aquarium maintenance is my least favorite thing to do in the hobby. My least favorite thing to do. But you have to do it. You owe it to your fish for sure, right? So, and if you maintain your aquariums with any regularity, like I like to do my aquariums every Sunday. But listen, I'm going to be honest. It's summer here in Michigan, and when we have beautiful days, it's hard to come down to your fish room and do all that maintenance. I like to tell you that my kids would help me, but they're sleeping. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and have some coffee because I enjoy coffee in the morning. I'm going to say hello to my neighbor Jerry, who's outside cutting his grass. We're going to chat with him for a couple of seconds. And then I'm going to come down here, and get this maintenance started. So I will share this with you. I'm certainly happy to have you here to keep me company while I go through these aquariums and get them in tip-top shape. Let's start with this. I have a dehumidifier down here because I have hundreds of gallons of water in my basement, and this dehumidifier works amazing. You can see it registers full. We just come down here, we grab it, and I just walk it over to my laundry room and I dump it. And then I'll just push this off to the side for now while I'm doing my maintenance. If you have an aquarium room and you don't have a dehumidifier in it, I have hundreds of gallons of water down here. It makes a world of difference to have this dehumidifier here. I think your aquarium maintenance goes a little quicker if you have a plan. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I have 9 aquariums that I got to maintenance today. So here's my plan. I'm not going to drag you through each one of them, but the 2 tanks that I'm going to do the most maintenance on is my 20-gallon planted tank down here. It's got a bunch of algae growing in it, so I'm going to scrape that down really quick. And then my new aquarium that I have over here is a 40-gallon breeder tank that's got some good algae growing in it as well, so I'm going to scrape that down. It's also a planted tank. So that's my 150-gallon aquarium. I used to have that silver arowana in there, but we got rid of him, and then we turned this into a nice community tank. And I like it like that. I've got my silver dollars over there. Right there's my silver dollars. I got my 3 angels in here. I've got my Severum. He's beautiful. And then underneath this log over here, this is our Geophagus Altifrons. So I had him with my red-headed Tapajo, which is in another aquarium over here. This is my 90-gallon. So I've got a red-headed Tapajo in here, also a Geophagus, but they just did not play nice together, so I had to separate them. I'm just going to feed them some flakes really quick, just to give them a little something to munch on before I jump in here and do other maintenance. You see these angels, boy, they just come right up here and grab all the food every time. We'll feed them a little heavy. I'm going to clean it anyway. This is my 110 tall aquarium right here, and I used to have some discus in here, but I gave up on discus. They were just a super fragile fish. I had a hard time maintaining them. I don't know if I got them sick or what, but I had a hard time with them. And then I had an aquarium heater go bad, and then that killed off a couple, and then the rest died shortly after. But so anyway, all I have in here now is I have my candy cane tetras up in here. I do have a Pictus catfish down here. He hangs out in the bottom underneath this rock over here. He comes out at nighttime, swims like a bat out of hell, I can tell you that. So anyway, this is my 110 tall. I love this tank. This is probably one of my favorite size tanks, to be honest with you. And if I had to do it all over again, I'd probably just get a bunch of these things. But I paid $440 for this tank, brand new. But I do love it. It's a beautiful tank. And over here I have this 90-gallon that I picked up at a yard sale, and I just got a great deal on it. It's got this etched glass in it. I don't know if you can see it from the camera, but it is absolutely gorgeous. This was my favorite tank for the longest time. You know what? It's still one of my favorites. But I have this into a community tank as well. So I've got an Oscar that I'm growing out in here, baby Oscar that we just picked up a few weeks ago. I got a Bala shark, and of course I have this red-headed Topajo, this Geophagus down here. I got a couple other fish in there as well. So we're just kind of using this as kind of a grow out tank. We'll figure out what we're going to do with it later. But I'm going to feed these guys too. And then over here, I have this 110 long tank. And let me tell you, I did imbunas in here, and then I raised them up a couple of different times. Raised them up and sold them off to the local fish store that we have a relationship with. So, but anyway, I couldn't help it. I saw this Peacock, and I said, I gotta have this guy, right? They had a larger version of him, but he was too expensive for what I was willing to pay. So I got this little guy for like $20-something, and he's going to grow up, and he's going to be absolutely gorgeous. Check him out. I don't know if you can see him from way back there. And then I have this dolphin hat over here. I don't know if you've ever seen a dolphin hat before, but Google it, because they are pretty cool looking fish. They look like a dolphin. So when I saw the adult version of him, which was also very expensive, I turned around, and behind me they had the juveniles. So I got him, and he is just a cool looking fish. When they get mature, they look pretty awesome. So we're going to give it a whirl, see if we can't grow these guys out. I will put some other fish in here when I have time, money, effort, energy, that sort of stuff. It's summertime. Again, so the hobby kind of dies off in the summer because we're busy doing other stuff. This is my dolphin hat. Oh, he's so hard to see in there, but anyway, he's in there. He's going to be cool. And over here we have our planted aquarium, and I did a video of me setting this aquarium up. My plants are doing great, although I had a little issue where I didn't have any light on it for a while, so my plants started to die off, and then I put the light back on, and they're coming back to life fairly nicely, but amateur mistake. But what I do have here is I've got a bunch of algae growing on the side of the glass, and I just want to clean that up to make it look really nice, so we'll get to that. If any of you were following my channel when I set up this very first saltwater aquarium, this is the first saltwater aquarium I've ever had. I have an Ocellaris in here right now, also known as our favorite Nemo fish, so a clownfish. So we have him in here. I have some coral that a good friend of mine, Angelo, hooked me up with, so that's over here. We're trying to give that a whirl. But I had some struggles with this aquarium in the beginning. Now I've got this hardy guy in here. He's been in here for a month or so now, and he seems to be doing well. Matter of fact, we're going to feed him right now. So here we have some brine shrimp. And this guy's pretty hungry. It may be a day or two since he's had some food. Look at him just gobble, gobble, gobble. He just gobbles this up. I may have put a little too much in there for him. I'll tell you, this guy is definitely an eater. It'll be gone within 5 minutes. Alright, so let's get started on our water changes. I use a Python. I've got a 50-foot Python here that works great. It allows me to get to all of my aquariums. And I'm telling you, if you have a setup like this where you've got it in your basement, if you want to be done with your bucket water changes, man, this is the only way to go. Truly, there might be something out there that's better, but for me, this thing works amazing. Open up the lid, I drop it in here, and I let the siphon do its thing. And it drains it out into the sink back here. I don't normally have a bed down here in my fish room. We had some old friends of ours that decided to stay the night. They stayed late and then just decided to crash here, so we pulled out this bed that we have, our spare company bed, and I just haven't put it away yet. They absolutely love their experience down here sleeping in the fish room. How does this Python work? It siphons all the way down through here. And this is how this works. So right now I have the hot and the cold water on full blast that spins this thing around inside and creates this siphon, okay? As the water shoots past here, it pulls the water up into this tube and it siphons out. The best part is, though, I know what you're thinking. That's a lot of water to waste. And you're right. So once I get the siphon started, I turn the water off and I just let it go. And this is just, right here, this is just the regular siphon working, right? That's just siphoning the water out of the tank, and it's just going to drain like this. And I'm not draining the entire tank, right? I'm only going to drain 25% of the tank. People ask me, why do you do that? Let me explain. I had a friend of mine ask me, what is this water change? Why do you change the water in the aquarium? And I said, well, hang on. I'm not changing all of the water. So for an established aquarium, all I'm doing is I'm going to take out 25% of the water and I'm going to replace it. So we drain it down 25%. We put fresh water back in there. Why do we do that? My friend said to me, but you don't explain why you do that. You just do it. You assume everybody knows. And what I forget is that people that watch this channel aren't all here for the aquariums, and I forget that. Most of you are, and I value you too. So thank you for being here. My disclaimer. Okay, back on track. Very simply, let me share with you why we do water changes. Here's the deal. So there's things in the water that will kill your fish. One is ammonia. Fish are dead. Nitrite can really put some stress on your fish. Could lead to death. Nitrate, not exactly super harmful, but enough of it in your water for a prolonged time could harm your fish. That's what we do the water change for. We do that 25% to get that nitrate out of the water, and that usually maintains a very low level of nitrate in your system, and you're going to be good to go. Your fish will be fine. You got to understand what cycling a tank means. So the ammonia happens, and then some beneficial bacteria takes time to build up, and that bacteria breaks down that ammonia, breaks it down into nitrite, Trite, and then that further breaks down into the nitrate. Once that cycle is completed, once you've done your ammonia is converted into nitrite and then your nitrite is converted into your nitrate, you'll have zero ammonia in your aquarium. That's when you know you've completed the aquarium cycle. Please, please, please save yourself a ton of money, headache, aggravation, dead fish. Learn it. Take the time to learn it. You don't have to study it and be a PhD in it, but get the general concept that I just gave you. So you go, oh, that's right, ammonia's going to rise and then it's going to fall. Nitrate's going to rise and then it's going to fall, and then the nitrates are going to stay in there, and the nitrates are what I have to suck out for the water changes. That's the simple version of it. We've got 25% of our water drained. Time to fill it back up. All I did is go back, reverse that pump, and now it's pumping water back into the aquarium, and we'll fill this back up. And this aquarium will be done for today because this isn't the one that I want to scrub down. I got to get over there and scrub those other two aquariums. So to make the best use of our time, I'm going to let this other aquarium drain, and then we're going to jump into this 40-gallon. I'm going to use a razor blade and a blue scrubby pad, and I'm just going to get all this yucky algae off the glass. This one should be easy because it's elevated. Unlike the one that's down here on the ground, I got to bend my little fluffy self over and get in there and scrape. But all right, let's see how this goes. You can see the algae growth all through here. You can see it. You can see it on the back. You can see it all through here. And that would make sense because I left the lights on, and this is a grow tank. So yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and clean the algae off the spots where you can see it, and that's it. This is a relatively new aquarium. It's only been up and running for, I don't know, maybe a couple months now. I did do a whole tutorial video on setting it up, part 1, part 2, and so this will be the first time we've gone in here and cleaned it since we set it up. Look at these fish coming right up to the top of the water. They're not afraid of anything. So I'm just going to start on the front of the glass here. I'm just going to wipe the front of the glass down. I'm trying not to disturb the substrate because this is a planted tank, and I don't want to make it all yucky and gross with the dirt that's underneath the substrate that I got there. So I've got that black sand on top of the planting soil that I put in there. So we're just going to very easily, very gently just go across this glass just like this, a couple of times, like that. And that'll take care of the front. Now, I don't know, let's see what you guys can see over there. Ready? Here we go. These fish are not bothered by me a bit. Look at them. There we go. Oh yeah, you can feel it. You can feel the yuckiness coming off that glass. As the pad slides across it, you can feel all that algae on the glass coming off. Oh yeah, it looks a heck of a lot better just like that. Wow, huh? Wow. Well, let's not be lazy about it. Let's try to do a good job here. Look out, fish. Here we are. Get down there in the corner. Come across the bottom real good. Huh. That may be all I need to do with just use it. I might not have to use a razor blade. Okay. That looks pretty darn good, huh? Yeah, that looks a lot better already. That looks good. Now let's get this other side done. I'm just going to start at the top. This fish better move. He's going to get squished. Oh yeah, look at that. Clean right up. No big deal, nothing to it. Just this little blue scrubby pad. I'm just very gently running it across the glass here. That's it. Look at that. And to think that I was like, oh man, I gotta clean that glass. A little easier to do on this little 40 gallon, that's for sure. Try doing it on the 150, it's a little more of a pain in the butt. Kicking up a little bit of debris back there. There's a spot in the back that I want to get. Ah! Shoot. Drop the razor in there. Yeah, it's a little yucky because I just churned it all up. But let's just get this back of this glass done really fast. It'll make me feel better knowing that it's over and done with. I can come in here and just use this pad and just give it I'm just giving it a wipe down. That's all I'm doing. Look at that. Easy, coming completely clean. Look at the growth on this plant. I mean, this plant has just gone crazy. If you watched me when I first put these in my other video, man, I'm gonna have to come in here and do a trim job on these plants. Holy smokes. That's awesome. All right, that was just too easy. Perfect. I'm gonna do a water change on this aquarium too, that'll get a lot of that junk out of there, and then this tank will look as good as new. So, I'm gonna use this towel to clean things up. Now, my wife would prefer that I not use bath towels. I'm sure she'd prefer that I use aquarium towels, but my attitude is we do have a washer, so I'm just gonna keep using these. Of course, it helps that she's not here. Now this tank here, you can see it's got a ton of algae on it, but I also have a ton of little babies in here. I got a bunch of little fries, so I have to be very careful when I do the water change not to suck up any of those baby fries. So hopefully this one will clean as quickly and as easy as that other one did. A little, let's see, the cleaning, yeah, there we go. This one seems to be a little bit harder to clean. Green hair algae growing on here. I might have to use a razor. Let me see something here. The razor takes longer, but it certainly gets it off. Especially that. That's a tough spot right there. Drop the razor again. There we go. All right, so that's 2 tanks that we got cleaned while we're waiting for this one to drain. All right, so we got those 2 aquariums knocked down out of the way. We still got to do the water changes, but at least we got the glass cleaned. We're filling this one back up right now. I got to take a time out. I got to take my wife something to eat for lunch, so we'll be back. So we picked up lunch. Now we're headed over to Jen's work. Crap. Left my keys in the restaurant. We made it just on time.
Hi, Jack.
Can't say that on an airplane.
Dad, you can't say that in front of people on YouTube.
Why not?
Really?
Hi, Jack.
Hi.
Can't say that on an airplane.
Dad, stop saying that.
All right, that's done. Time to head home. All right, we're back home. This, as I was walking through the garage, I was just reminded that this is another project we got going. This 125 gallon drilled aquarium. Yeah, that'll be a later episode.
He doesn't like your phone. Yeah, good job, Dad.
Good job, Dad. You made him fly away.
Oh. I'm sorry, buddy.
Hey, guess what? Beam, bite my finger.
Point the finger.
Right. It tickles.
I'm done. I'm gonna.
Oh!
Love fly.
Up,
Where's the best place?
up, up. You got tired of it. Step up. Hey, instead of biting my finger, you step up. No. sardine.